Okay, in yesterday's video and lesson, we showed a little bit about Cars.com, and I mainly clicked through it for you and just showed you where I was getting the numbers. But today, we're going to try to be a little more independent. I'm going to walk you through it one more time, and then you'll pick your own car and repeat the process with something that you pick. So today, I'm going to do a 2012 Honda Civic EX. I think yesterday it was a 2018 maybe, but I'm going to really focus on how to manage that website, what to click to get the right amount of returns, because we're looking for just 7 of them today. And then we'll go over these formulas again. And then, like I said, you'll pick a second car and do it on your own. So have this open, but also open up an internet tab, and we're going to go to Cars.com. And we're going to change whatever's here. It might say new or used. It might say certified, but we're going to change it to a used car, because a 2012 is obviously a used car. And remember, it was a 2012 Honda Civic EX. So I'm going to change whatever's here to Honda. The model is a plain old Civic. It's just Civic, nothing of these other types. And we don't have to worry about anything else yet. We can change the rest later, unless your zip code isn't there. Put in your zip code. And it doesn't matter if you're 12211, 12309, 12205, because 50 miles from all those zip codes is generally the same radius. So after that, we're going to hit search. And right now it's telling us that there are 126 results. That's too many. I only need 7. And we might not hit 7 on the dot, but that is still too many. And the first reason why that is such a great number, if we scroll down a little bit, see where it says year? We haven't told it what year we wanted yet. And we don't want a range of years. We want 2012 to 2012. So that's how you limit it to 1 year. And now let me scroll up a little bit. Will you look at that? There are 7. That is outstanding. The only problem is they're not all EXs. So I'm going to click the EX and see how many we have there. 3. Alright, so if it ever gets too narrow, where you don't have enough results, what we'll do is we'll change the radius, because this is only the dealerships or the sales that are within 50 miles, like an hour from here. Let's go a little bit further, 75 miles. And that didn't change anything. So we'll go a little further. There's 5. Maybe go a little further. 12. I'm happy with the 12 because I'll just pick the first 7 out of these. So I know there's 12, but because of the way I have the spreadsheet set up, we only need 7. So it's apples to apples now. We have a 2012 Honda Civic EXL, and it's the same thing every time. The same year, the same make, the same model, the same trim. Because if we didn't do that, it might tell you all Hondas. It might tell you all Honda Civics. There could be hybrids in there, which cost more. There could be turbos, which cost more. So right now we have, like I said, apples to apples. We're comparing the same car with the same car. We started off with the year being the same. We made sure that the Honda Civic, and then further down the trim, and we picked EXL for that. So I'm going to go back and just change the spreadsheet to EXL, just so we don't have any confusion there. Okay, then we're going to take the first 7 out of these 12. So the first one is 10,547. So you come over here, 10,547. And we have 9995. The third one down is 11455. And the fourth one, 10,993. And the next one's another 9995. And the sixth one is 8995. It's quite a range here. And the last one, 8991. And again, there were more. We picked the 12 because it was slightly more than 7, but we have a good selection of Honda Civic EXLs that are all from 2012. So we're going to find the mean first. So we type in equals, and Google Sheets uses the word average for mean, and we know they mean the same thing. I'll highlight all of those. And the average price was $10,139. Now, you can remember yesterday, the low is really minimum. And we highlight that whole column, and it'll tell us the minimum one. I mean, we could see that with our eyes, but if it was ever a larger group of numbers, that's how we would do it. So the lowest is 8991. I'm going to jump to the max here. The max of all of that is 11,445, the third one down. Median, we remember, is median, surprisingly enough. The median of all of that data, B3 to B9, is 9995. And I know these aren't in order, but the computer orders it for itself. So when you learned how to do this in middle school and in algebra, you had to put the numbers in order. And anytime you do it by hand, you have to. But when you're using a spreadsheet, it knows what's lowest and what's highest. It's a calculator, it's a spreadsheet, it can do that, so you don't really have to reorder them. First quartile, if you remember, was equals quartile and then a parenthesis, and then we'll highlight the stuff, B3 to B9, but don't close the parenthesis yet. Type in comma 1 and then close the parenthesis. You'll notice the 1 is in a different color. And that tells it to take the quartile, but the first one, which is 9495. And then we'll do the same thing for the third quartile. Equals quartile, parenthesis, highlight all the data, B3 to B9. Don't close it, comma, 3 for third quartile. And we need to make money out of that, so we'll go up and format it as currency. There we go. They're all currency now. So now we're going to make the box and whisker candlestick thing that we did yesterday. I'm going to show you how to do that again. So we're going to go to Insert, Chart. After you go to Insert Chart, now you haven't highlighted anything yet, which is why it comes up blank. We're going to come over to Column Chart, and we're going to scroll down all the way down to Candlestick Chart, way down here. Looks like little fireworks. And all of these should show up as like missing data in red here. So first we'll do add the x-axis. So I'm going to double click in there so this little dialog box pops up. And I'm just going to click on A1. So that'll be a nice title for me. The x-axis. And you see that that says A1. Then there's 4 remaining red cells, and that again is the low, the first quartile, the third, and the max. It doesn't do the median. So I'm going to click in the low, and it brings that dialog box up again. And I'm going to click on where the low number is, which is in B13. Hit OK. The open is the first quartile, so I'll click in there. Now remember, the second time you might have to click this data range box right here. And then I'll click on B14. And then I'll go to the close, which is the third one, which is the third quartile. Again, click on the data range box. And don't forget to skip the median and go to B16. And then the high dialog box, B17. And remember how squished up it looked yesterday when I first did that? I'm now going to go over to Customize, Vertical Axis, scroll down a little bit. Minimum value doesn't have to be any lower or any higher than, say, 7,500. That should give it plenty of space. And the maximum we could leave at 12. And it sort of centers it a little bit for me, so it's a little bit more representative of the range there. Okay, now let's play around and customize this a little bit more. You can change the text color to anything you wanted. Notice if I'm in the vertical axis, it'll do it to that. We could change the text color of the horizontal axis if we wanted to something different, change that to green. If I double click on some white space back here, I can scroll down and I can maybe change the color of the grid lines if you ever wanted to for some reason. I made them red, or pinkish I should say. If you want them green, you can make them green. If I go to chart style, I can make the background color black. And the only thing you can't do, normally you can change what's blue here, but on the candlestick you can't. So you could go to a chart, chart title, and you could call it 2012 Honda Civic EXL, and that'll show up as the title. So you're going to do this on your own in a minute for a different car, but now you know that you can click through here and sort of customize it. You can change the background colors and the grid colors, and now it looks like something cool out of the 90s where everything was fluorescent and neon and bright. But that's the idea. So that's your box and whisker plot for the 2012 Honda Civic EXL. So now you're going to repeat this now on a second car. So if you click on the second tab, Jeep, it'll give you kind of where we started from, right? Now it says 2017 Jeep Grand Cherokee, and that should not be there. Yours will say Laredo, which is a trim model for Jeep Cherokees. Instead of letters, they use words. So a Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo. So when you go and find, we're going to pick the first 7. The formulas for all these are earlier in the video because we did them here, right? And you can actually see the formulas behind here if you need to steal them from there. And the instructions on how to do this part when you're done are also earlier in the video. But just remember, when you go to Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo, you will first make sure to change the year to 2017 to 2017. That limits just 1 year. If you scroll down to trim, you'll see the Laredo box. Make sure you check the Laredo box. And I did it 50 miles from Albany. And that gave me 14 results. You can see the first one there. But you're going to take the first 7, put them here, and follow the steps we talked about to fill out this and the chart. Good luck.